Hey yo, what's going on, viewers of the tube? My name is Tyler and welcome to the channel that is just like a 12-round boxing match. We bring the content that everyone wants to attack, throwing their troll punches, missing and wearing themselves out. So by the end of the fight, all it takes is one perfectly timed news story to knock them out. You know our footwork. It's time for Chico Crypto. Today I have some content you will only find here on Chico Crypto, something dug up from the far corners of the cryptoverse. This is Bitcoin and crypto's most secretive meeting, a Bilderberg type get-together of the crypto elite, which happens every year, and their plans on how to move forward the industry are discussed. This is the Satoshi's Roundtable. They even have a website for the event, SatoshiRoundtable.org, and they are in the 6th year of this meeting. The next one is taking place February 7th through 10th, 2020, somewhere in North America. As we can see below, the event is all-inclusive and private, and is well suited for private meetings, breakaway sessions, and side discussions. Yes, crypto and Bitcoin is becoming like the traditional financial world, where the elite meet together and discuss how to move forward this thing called decentralization. I'm sure most of you know of the Bilderberg meetings between the Bilderberg group. Yes, that group of the world-powered leaders that basically controls everything in the West. Corporations, banks, shell companies, lawyers, and the elite create an interconnected web. The meeting is made to shape the policies of the world, 3 days every year. Just like the Satoshi Roundtable, the Bilderberg meeting has a website. It says every year, approximately 130 political leaders and experts from industry, finance, labor, academia, and the media are invited to take part in the meeting. Going back to the Satoshi Roundtable website, 175 leading industry members, and it's always 3 days, just like Bilderberg. So, similar in scope and size. Well, back to the Bilderberg website. The meetings are held under the Chatham House rules, which states that the participants are free to use the information received, but neither the identity nor the affiliation of the speakers nor any of the other participants may be revealed. Well, the Satoshi Roundtable website just says location and venue prioritize privacy and security. No press, no media, no pitches, all discussions are off the record. Well, Gavin Andresen, he went in 2016, and he said all the discussions happened under the Chatham House rules regarding the block size debate discussions in 2016. And this Bitcoin.com article says, discussion at Satoshi Roundtable abide by the courtly Chatham House rule. So it's obvious the crypto industry, or Finance 2.0, took a page out of the traditional financial system and created their own little secret group to control the crypto industry. So let's begin with Satoshi Roundtable 1, held in February 2015. Using the Wayback Machine, we can see the website they created. This one was limited to 50 people, and we will highlight the important ones. John Betts, Noble Markets. Yes, that Noble. Brock Pierce's Noble Bank and Noble Markets. Justin Binko, COO of Coinapult. Yes, the Coinapult, which is the technology company tied to Tether and Crypto Capital, as seen from this 2017 Untethered article. Already back then calling Crypto Capital no bank, known criminal, and scammers. Yet Coinapult is heavily involved with this. And there's Roger Ver, very knowledgeable about Tether since being an investor of Coinapult. Justin is also Eric Voorhees' best friend. Eric made a YouTube channel 5 years ago to tell him he was named his best man at his wedding.
Our top story this hour, Justin Stingray Blinko from the small nation of El Panama has been named Eric's best man at his wedding later this year.
Now, moving on, of course there was Vitalik Buterin getting invited in his first taste of that sweet punani, photo from the first event, and even getting a nice talk from Daddy Brock Pierce. Vitalik and Brock, Vitalik. Jared Goat Cardi, early Bitcoin holder and adopter, El Cabron on Bitcoin Talk, and he got pretty famous for buying a Lambo with Bitcoin in December of 2013. Although by 2014, and even before the first roundtable meeting, there were warnings that he was a scammer, Bitcoin Talk even putting up a red flag warning. Yet, he was invited. Kind of weird, inviting an accused scammer who eventually got booted off Bitcoin Talk, don't you think? Reeve Collins, then CEO of Tether, Tour Deemster, Adamant Capital, and Research. Anthony D'Orio, co-founder of Ethereum, Bruce Fenton, now of Medici and Ravencoin, of course, Charlie Lee of Litecoin and Coinbase at the time, Trace Mayer, which everyone should know, a very important one, the only connection to the outside financial world, aka Bilderbergs, is Matthew Mellon, heir to the Mellon banking fortune. Here's a picture of Matthew in 2015. In the group photo, I think he is the one in the very back with the sunglasses. If that is him, he was also near Vitalik during one of Brock's talks. I have spoken of this before, so let's just see why this was so weird that he was there with Brock, Tether execs, John Betts, Noble Markets, and more. Now here's where the banking relationships with BNY Mellon and Tether were initiated and created. As Noble Bank, Deltec Bank, and Sackville Bank, all who worked with Bitfinex and Tether, use the same main bank for custodian purposes. Bank of New York, Mellon. As seen from this leaked message about Deltec's custodian, intermediary bank, BNY Mellon. And from these two articles. Bloomberg reports that the exchange operator, Bitfinex, has opened accounts at Noble Bank International. Notably, Noble does not hold funds directly, instead partnering with BNY Mellon as third-party custodian. Sackville's primary global custodian bank is CIBC Mellon, jointly owned by BNY Mellon and Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce. BNY Mellon also provided custodial services to Noble Bank before dropping them last summer. Well, you remember that picture of Matthew from 2015. Here's a picture of him just weeks before his death, looking like an old man in just 4 years. Yes, Matthew died in the summer of 2018, that same summer when Noble and other Tether banks lost their relationship with BNY Mellon custodians. And just a month before his death, he was with his buddy Brock Pierce, shooting portrait series for Randy Cole. Now, the details behind Matthew's death are pretty weird. This article, speaking to a friend of the family, said this about his death. His family are in shock. He was 88 days sober and doing really well. The rehab clinic he went to insisted on his return for maintenance, and he took his private jet there a few days ago. He had a heart attack after taking ayahuasca there. But this was false, as he was checking into Clear Sky Ibogaine of Iboga, another healing psychedelic. According to the clinic's Twitter, Matthew Mellon was scheduled to check in on April 16th, 2018. We learned that he died at his hotel on the 16th, prior to his check-in. No further comment. So something fishy is up. The rehab clinic insisted he come back for maintenance, yet he died before he could make it there due to a heart attack in his hotel room, even though he was sober. Yes, there was that photo taken of him weeks before, where he was sober, and then this picture taken on April 8th, just a week before his death. Here is to shining on, so sober, so happy. After his death, according to the New Zealand Herald, his friends were whispering about whether he was murdered for his cryptocurrency. Hundreds of millions of dollars are missing, possibly forever. Matthew always said they were out to get him. Perhaps he was right. Now here's what is weird. According to the New York Times article about his death, Mr. Mellon's stepfather, J. Reeve Bryant, said they were awaiting the results of an autopsy and toxicology test being conducted by the Mexican government. Well, they never got one, of course. According to that NZ Herald article, his body was taken from the hospital for a post-mortem examination. A guy interviewed who had contacts with those who dealt with his body said he died of unnatural causes. After the exam, it was taken and cremated, and the ashes were sent to his family. No toxicology done. I'm not insinuating nothing, but the details of how he was rushed to Mexico, checked into a hotel, and not immediately into the rehab facility are fishy. And here's what's interesting. It is known that after the Mellon banking losses in the summer of 2018, Bitfinex and Tether went to crypto capital. It is now known that one of the execs, Ivan Manuel Molina Lee, is accused of being part of an international drug cartel and laundering cash using Bitfinex and Tether. And then in the Cryptocurrency Anti-Money Laundering Report, Q1 2019, they highlighted Mexican cartels using Chinese money laundering networks, also known as Chinese underground banking systems, CUBs, and leveraging their cryptocurrency brokers. And this network is composed of up to 10,000 clients who can move up to 100 billion each year. And it's pretty well known Chinese whales are utilizing Tether. For China investors will begin their investment in the stablecoin Tether through domestic over-the-counter dealers with brokers. The broker will take their stablecoins to foreign markets overseas to exchange them for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and more. A great fork in the episode, but let's get back to the first meetings list. Ira Miller, the dev brains behind Coinable. You know Brock Pierce was there in the group photo. He is the centerpiece of it all. Craig Sellers, co-founder of Tether and co-founder of Mastercoin, aka the Omni layer on which Bitcoin Tether was issued. Bo Shin of Finbushi Capital, who suspiciously puts the first Roundtable group photo as his Twitter background to this day. Peter Todd, core BTC dev, and finally Roger Veer and Eric Voorhees, both connected to Coinable, Tether, and more. I wish someone had the time to put together a Bilderberg type web of the original 50 Roundtable members to see how they are all connected, have their paws in everything crypto today. Like I bet you would find literally almost every project, company, and media site connected to these guys. So what exactly goes on at these meetings is unknown, but after them, sometimes some of the attendees talk. In 2016, Brian Armstrong attended with about 70 other members. Of course, the scaling debate for Bitcoin was talked about, but here is something interesting. The next block halving was coming in July, and the miners back then were able to mine a coin for $250. After the halving, the cost to mine would be $500. If the Bitcoin price stayed the same, it would be unprofitable for them. Pretty much exactly what is going to happen with this halving coming up. The argument is, will miners be able to be profitable after the halving? Just like in 2016, Bitcoin's price has been on the decline in the months leading up to the halving. This one happens in May of 2020, and they will have another Satoshi's Roundtable. In 2016, after the February meeting, Bitcoin started bubbling, doubling 1 month before the half, although after the halving it dumped. But by the beginning of 2017, BTC pumped back to its old all-time high of 1.2K. Will that be the discussion of this year's meeting? How to pump BTC back to 20K by the end of the year? Well, unfortunately, they do not list who is coming anymore. The last time they did that was in 2016. A full list was provided then. But what I found suspicious was Whale Panda got invited in 2018. They were able to discuss everything about the event. But then Tether, they put it at the bottom. And then Whale Panda references Chatham House rules. The only part of the conference which was singled out with this rule: speak about Tether, you die. But I'm sure those who were invited in the past are all once again invited. Although getting the entire Tether Cartel together in one spot is probably too risky now. But Brock, the ringleader, will be there, I can guarantee that. Plus some new faces who have made their way onto the crypto elite list, like William Shatner, who's attending in 2020. Bruce Fenton is once again confirmed as going. He said one misconception is that the event is closed. It is just limited space due to the reality of logistics. We only have a couple hundred seats. Community members who want to participate can simply reach out and try to get a seat. Well, frickin' A, invite me then. I would love to come. I'll be waiting, Crypto Elite. Cheers. I'll see you next time.